Hello everyone. Good evening. Welcome to the session today. Hope you all can hear me. Can you guys confirm once? Are you guys able to hear me and share my able to see my screen as well? Is it clear? Okay. So that is great. So hope you are able to hear me. So let us start the session, guys. So far, what we have discussed, let me just recap and then we will start today's session. Okay. So if you guys remember, in our previous sessions, we have talked about, I have given you what is data engineering. In our very first demo class, I have told you about what is data engineering. Those who have missed the demos, please try to connect with the admin and get the video recording and try to complete it. Because those are the very, very basic things that you need to have a knowledge on. And I have told you about what is Google Cloud Platform also. What is Google Cloud Platform in very detail? While I was covering the Google Cloud Platform, I have also told you about why we need to learn the Google Cloud Platform. What are the advantages of learning the Google Cloud Platform over the other clouds? Also, I have told you in this particular topic. And after that, I have told you about why we need the cloud platforms. Okay, so we have started the cloud overview module. Okay, in our cloud overview module, I have told you about why we need the cloud, why we need the cloud platform. And after that, I have told you the difference between the traditional working model versus cloud computing model. Okay, so I have also told you in the cloud overview module, I have told you about why we need the cloud platform, why the companies are looking for an alternative of traditional working model. What are the challenges that they were facing in the traditional working model? How the cloud was providing and how the cloud was able to fix those challenges and how people were started working in the cloud. All of those details we have discussed in very detail in this particular module. Okay, and after that I have started one more topic, that is GCP interfaces. Is it clear or not? Is it correct or not, guys? If you guys remember, we have started with the GCP interfaces. I have told you about one of the first method, that is console. And after that, I have told you about the second method, that is Cloud Shell. After that, I have told you about the Cloud SDK. Okay, so what is GCP interfaces? So if you wanted to interact with the Google Cloud Platform services, we have three methods are there, three interface methods are there. One is console, nothing but a graphical user interface, web-based graphical user interface. You can call it as a web-based graphical user interface. What is a cloud shell? Can anyone tell me what is a cloud shell, guys? I have already covered the topic, right? Can you guys tell me what is a cloud shell? Anyone, please? Please try to unmute yourself and you can tell me the answer to that, or put it in the chat also. That is also fine. Anyone, please. I see that no one is able to tell the answer. Right. Okay, let me gonna tell you. The Cloud Shell is a web-based command line interface. I have told you that Cloud Shell is one of the web-based command line interface to interact with the GCP services via commands, via some script or via some command. If you wanted to interact with the Google Cloud services, you have a Cloud Shell that is available in the Google Cloud platform, which is web-based. Similarly, you have SDK, which is local based command line interface. So if you wanted to work with a Google Cloud services from the local machine itself, whether your local machine is a Mac OS or Windows operating system or Linux based operating system, based on your operating system, you have to download the SDK From the local SDK also you can able to interact with the GCP services via commands, because it is a command line interface. So all of these topics so far we have discussed, guys. So if you guys are not able to, that means whoever is new to the session today, what you have to do is that you have to connect with our admin team. You have to ask for the recordings of these three sessions, only three sessions, I guess. Ask for these three videos recordings, try to cover it, which was very, very basic, I'm telling you. Today I am going to start with our one more topic, that is GCP locations. Okay, I will tell you what is GCP locations from today onwards. This is our topic today, guys. In this topic, I am going to tell you about global infrastructure. Okay, global GCP is global infrastructure. What is a region? Okay, so I am going to tell you about what is a location, what is a region, what is a zone, and what is the selection criteria. Okay, so all of these things I am going to tell you about the GCP locations, guys. Very, very important topic whenever you wanted to deploy one solution. So this is what I am going to talk about today, guys. So this is our topic today. Okay, GCP locations, global infrastructure. Okay, so let me gonna talk about it. Hope you all can see my screen. So I'm gonna go to that particular topic. Yes, here we have GCP locations, everyone. What is GCP locations? Let me gonna give you some idea about the GCP locations first, then we will come back to the slides. First, to give you some idea about the GCP locations. Sir, you are working on a project. Assume that you are working on some project today. You started working on some project today. In that project, your client is asking you, okay, your client requirement will be there, right? So that as per the client requirement, you have to create some cluster. You may have to do a lot of tasks, right? As per the client requirement, you may have to do a lot of tasks. One of the tasks can be creating a cluster or creating a bucket for storing the data. Okay, if you wanted to create a cluster for the data processing, or if you wanted to create a bucket for the storage, storing some data, or if you wanted to create some table, if you wanted to create some table, or if you, or when I say table, you can set data set. If you wanted to create some data set, or tomorrow if you wanted to create some environment for the airflow. So whenever you wanted to do some kind of a resource creation, all of these things we call it as a resources, guys. Okay, so these are all the things we usually call it as a resources. So whenever you wanted to create a resources in the GCP, whether it could be a data pro cluster, or whether it could be a cloud storage bucket, or it could be a BigQuery data set, or it could be a composer environment, whatever the resources that you wanted to create in the GCP, you must select some, location. Okay, you must select some location, because you are working in a Google Cloud platform, nothing but a cloud platform. You must select the location where you wanted to really store your data. For example, for storing the data, while you are creating a bucket, this bucket has to be physically stored somewhere. The data that you are going to store it inside the bucket, the data has to be physically stored somewhere. So where you wanted to physically store it, okay, where you wanted to physically store it, that is what we call as a location. We must select the location whenever you wanted to create a resource or deploy some resource. Okay, so whenever you wanted to create some resource or deploy some resource, you have to properly select some location. So this location, the selection of location affects the cost. It affects the cost. It affects the performance. If you don't select a proper location, the cost will be more. If you don't select a proper location, the performance will be very less. If you don't select the proper location, the data may not be available all the time. So You have to properly select a location so that you can reduce the cost, you can increase the performance, you can increase the availability of that particular service. Okay, so this is what we call it as a availability. Okay, this is what we call as a location, guys. Very, very important, GCP locations. Okay, whenever you wanted to, for example, let me go to the Google Cloud platform and show you first. Okay, if I go to the Google Cloud platform, don't think that I am going to tell you guys in our next session how to create a free tier account in the GCP. Okay, in our next session, I am going to tell you how to create a free tier account in the GCP. Okay, yeah. First, I am going to take maybe any project, for example. So now I wanted to, my client has given me some 100 GB of the data for me. Okay, my client is there. He has given me some 100 GB of the data and he is asking for me to store it. He is asking for me to store it in the GCP. What I will do, I will go to Google Cloud platform. I am inside the Google Cloud platform. I will go to one of the service called cloud storage, because cloud storage is one of the storage service device or a tool where you can able to store some data. If you wanted to store some data in the Google Cloud storage, you need to create the bucket. So to create the bucket, you click on create and you provide the proper name, and then you have to select a location. Look at here, you have to select a proper location. Choose where to store your data. Choose where to store your data. The choice defines the geographic placement of your data and affects the cost, performance, and availability. Once we have provided the location, cannot be changed later. So whatever the resource that you are going to create it, you must select the location where you want it to store it. So either you can select a single location, single region. We will understand it. What are these terminologies? What is region? What is dual region? What is multi-region? Okay, what is location? All of these things we will try to understand it. To give you some context, I came to the Google Cloud platform and trying to give you some idea that whenever you wanted to create any resource or whenever you wanted to deploy any cluster or any environment, we must choose a proper location. If you don't select a proper location, it affects the cost, availability, as well as performance. So what I will try to do is that first we will come to our slides and try to understand what is GCP locations, why it is so important, what is the terminology inside the Google Cloud platform, how the locations are divided, how the regions are divided, how the zones are divided. Let us try to understand one by one. Now the context is clear that whenever you wanted to deploy or create resource, you must select a location. Okay, if you do not select a proper location, it affects the cost, performance, and availability. Now what is locations? Okay, you can think like this. Assume that Google has a plenty of infrastructure. Assume that Google Cloud Platform has a plenty of infrastructure. Okay, Google Cloud Platform. Okay, Google Cloud Platform has a plenty of infrastructure. What Google Cloud Platform has done is that they kept some amount of infrastructure here, 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 some amount of infrastructure here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is our world map, sir. This is our globe. Okay, inside a global or a world map, you have what they have done is that instead of keeping the entire infrastructure in one single location, they have divided that entire infrastructure into total 5 locations. Why they have to do it? So why they have done it? If they have divided their infrastructure into multiple locations so that each and every user throughout the world can start using the GCP resources. Okay, each and every people throughout the world or a company, they can start utilizing the GCP resources. So that is the reason what they have done is that, so if you wanted to use the resources, if it is there in one single location, you will be finding it difficulty connecting it to that particular server, creating a resource. What they have done is that whatever the infrastructure that they have divided that entire infrastructure into 5 locations. Okay, these are locations, guys. Total 5 locations we have. One is North America, South America, Europe, Asia, Australia. So why the division is required? So that each and every person, whoever is there in the every corner of the world, they can start utilizing the GCP resources, because if something is near to you only, then you will start utilizing it. If something is far away from you, why do you use it? You don't use it because connecting it to that particular thing itself, takes a lot of time. So it takes a lot of time, lot of amount of time, as well as the buffer will be there, the network lag will be there. So that is the reason, by keeping that in the mind, Google Cloud Platform has divided its infrastructure into total 5 locations. And what they have done is that inside the each location, they have divided these each locations into regions again. They have divided that locations into regions. Regions they have divided into again zones. Okay, they have divided that regions into again zones. So this is what is the division. Why they have to do the division? Assume that it is India. Okay, India is divided into multiple states. Each state is divided into multiple cities. Each city is divided into multiple locations, areas we call it as. Okay, villages are areas, whatever you can call it as, rural villages, rural cities. So why the division is there? Why they have to? Why the India has divided its entire area into multiple states? Why multiple states are divided into cities into areas? It is because that if one person from one location to another location, if they wanted to travel, for each and every area they have to have a proper name, so that the traveling becomes very easy. Managing the state, dividing and managing the things becomes very easy. Otherwise, uh, managing the entire country in a single entity is very hard. So that's the reason what they have done is that they have divided the India into multiple states. States are divided into cities. Cities are divided into areas. Okay, so that managing the things becomes very easy. For every area there will be a one dedicated government people will be there, so that government can be easily able to manage each and every area, so that the cities are managed, so that the states are managed, so that the cities are managed. So this is the same reason Google Cloud Platform has divided its entire infrastructure into locations. Locations are further divided into regions. Regions are further divided into zones. Okay, total we have 5 locations, 37 regions are there, 112 zones are there. 112 zones are there. So you can also see here in the world map. So whatever you are seeing, every circle is a, okay, every circle is a location here. So this is North America, this is South America, this is Europe, this is Asia, this is Australia. Total 5 locations. Whatever you are seeing the blue dots here, whatever the blue dots that you are seeing here, those are, I am calling it as a regions. Okay, the blue dots you are seeing, right? So those are blue dots are the regions. The bigger circles are the locations. These bigger circles are the location. Location 1, location 2, 3, 4, 5. So the blue dots are the region. Inside each region, you will be having the zones. You cannot be able to see it here, but inside each region, you will be having zones. Okay, so this is how Google Cloud Platform has divided its entire infrastructure into multiple locations. Locations are further divided in a simple diagram. I have it here. So take one. So Google Cloud Platform infrastructure is divided into 5 locations. Let me gonna take one of the location, that is location A, any location. Assume that maybe Asia. Okay, so each location is divided into multiple regions. Region 1, region 2, region 3, region 4, and multiple regions will be there. Each region is a collection of zones divided into zones. So you see here zone 1, zone 2, zone 3, zone A, zone B, zone C, zone D. Each zone is connected to the one more zone via high bandwidth network and low latency network. Okay, each zone is connected to the one more zone. Similarly, each region is connected to the one more region also, you can say. Okay, so there will be a connection, so that from one end I can able to manage everything, right? So when there is a connection, only managing things is becomes easy. So this is how you have a location divided into multiple regions. Each region is connected to the one more region. You have a zones inside the region. Each zone is a collection, each region is a collection of zones. You have a zone A, zone B, zone C, zone D. Each zone is connected to the one more zone via high bandwidth network and low latency network, so that it can able to transfer the things from one zone to the another zone also. Okay, now the thing is that, sir, everything is fine. I am able to see only the division, but where is the infrastructure, sir? Where is the infrastructure? So far you are telling about the locations, regions, and zone, but where is the infrastructure, sir? Each zone will have the data center, sir. Each zone will have the data center. Inside the data center you will be having the resources. So this box I am calling it as a data center. Okay, this box I am calling is a data center. A data center, what is mean by data center? A data center is the one where you have the infrastructure readily available, where the Google Cloud platform has its infrastructure. That those locations we call it as a data center. So data center will have two types of resources. One is physical resources, one more is virtual resources. For example, for the physical resources, a disk for storing the device. Disk are physical devices. Virtual machines are the virtual resources. You cannot be able to see them. Okay, so each zone will be having the data center. Inside the data center, you will be having the infrastructure or resources, you can call it as. Okay, so this is where we have the infrastructure, sir. This is where we have the resources. So wherever the resources you have, tomorrow if you wanted to deploy one resource or create one resource, you are going to do it on top of the zone only. Yes or no? So if you wanted to create some resource or deploy some application tomorrow, you are going to do it on top of this data center only. That data center is available in the zone only. So those zones are called as availability zones. Those zones are called as availability zones because it is having availability zones, because it is having the resources available. It is having the infrastructure available. So that is the reason those zones which are having the resources available, those zones we call it as the availability zones. Okay, so availability zones are nothing but the zones where you have the resources available. If the resources are available, you are going to do the deployment, yes or no? Yes, right? So if you for example, the deployment is something that I am going to store some data here, deploying the data here, or creating one application inside a virtual machine, right? So wherever you have the resources available, wherever you have the infrastructure available, you are going to do the deployment. You are going to do the deployment. So that is the reason zones also have a one more name. So zones, one time zones, you call it as availability zones. And because the zones are on top of the zones only, people do the deployment. So that's the reason people also call it as a deployment area. Okay, people also call it as a deployment area. It is because you are going to do the resources deployment on top of these zones resources only. So that is the reason you call it as a deployment area. Now zones are the ones having the resources, right? So in the same, you can also go back and see here in India where people stay. No, not in India, where they stay in states. So where states? No, in cities. Where cities? In the areas. So where people actually stay? Inside areas, they will stay. Okay, what is this division? This is for our own sake that we have created this division. Okay, for our own benefit purpose we have created these zones. Similarly, Google's infrastructure is there in the locations. Where in the locations? Inside the zones. Where in the zones? Sorry, Google's infrastructure is there in the locations. Where in the locations? If you ask me, it is there in the regions. Where in the regions? If you ask me, it is there in the zones. So the entire infrastructure is available in the zones only. So that is the reason zones are called as availability zones. Zones are called as availability zones. It is because that the entire resources are available here. And on top of the resources only, you are going to do the deployment. So that's the reason zones are also called as a deployment area. Zones are also called as a deployment area. Okay, hope that is very clear, guys. If you guys have any questions, you can also ask me. If anyone have any questions, you can also ask me, guys. Okay, in a simple words, Google Cloud Platform infrastructure is organized into regions and zones. Each region is a collection of zones. The regions are available in the Asia, Australia, Europe, North America, South America. So all of these things are called as a locations. Can anyone tell me total how many locations that we have? Please speak up, guys. Total how many locations that we have?
5.
Total we have 5 locations. Perfect. I want you guys to speak up whenever I'm asking the question, guys. Total how many regions are there?
37.
Total 37 regions are there. So these regions today, I'm telling you, sir, today you are saying 37, but tomorrow they have created one more region. So Google Cloud Platform is keep on growing. Okay, Google Cloud Platform is keep on growing. I would say that 37 plus, because tomorrow they may create one more, two more regions also. Total how many zones are there, guys?
112. 70.
112. 112 zones, guys. Total 112 plus zones. You can also see here there is a triangle here, right? What is this triangle? A future region with 3 zones. So the triangles are, they are trying to create some zones, regions also. These triangles indicate that few regions they are creating. In the Johannesburg they are creating one thing, as well as in the Dammam they are also creating one more. So this is how Google Cloud Platform is keep on growing. Okay, so this is how it is, guys. Now let us try to understand the definition of what is region, what is zone. Let us try to understand what is region and what is zone. A region is in a simple words, we already know what is region, we already know what is zone. A definition point of view, what is a region, what is the zone? Let us try to understand. What is a region? A region is a independent geographic area that consists of zones. Right. A region is a independent geographic area. For example, if I take a location, so you will be having multiple regions, right? So region is this is what I call as a region 1. This is what is region 2. What is region? A region is a independent geographic area in a location which consists of zones. Each region is a collection of zones. So minimum 3 zones will be there, guys. As for the GCP's documentation, what they say is that every region will have minimum 3 zones. Minimum 3 zones. So that is the reason 37 into 3. Can you guys tell me how many? 111. So minimum 3. There can be a one region with 4 zones also. Minimum 3 has to be there. So that is the reason 37 multiplied by 3, you will be having 111. There will be there might have been one region which is having 4 zones also, because minimum is 3, maximum it can have 4 also. 4, 5, 6 also, that is fine. So that is the reason. What is a region from definition point of view? A region is an independent geographic area that consists of zones. Zones and regions are the logical abstraction of underlying physical resources provided in one or more physical data centers. Okay, so what they are saying, The location, the region, the zones is a physical. So these are the sorry, zones, regions, and locations are the logical abstractions of the underlying resources. How they have created these resources means they have created these resources based on some logic. Based on some logic. So that means there are locations or there are regions or there are zones where you have some resources available. It doesn't mean that in some other region you have the same resources. Okay, the division of the resources purely depends on the logical abstraction of underlying resources. That's what they say. Okay, so each region and zone is a consist of one or more data center. As I already told you, a region will have minimum 3 zones. Can you guys tell me each zone will have a data center? That means minimum 3 data centers will be there. So this is what they are saying. Each region consists of one or more data centers. That is what it is. Region consists of one or more data centers for sure. Okay, so GCP regions. Why they have created GCP regions and zones? As I told you already, Google Cloud Platform regions and zones are designed to provide the high availability, low latency, high performance for the applications and services deployed in those regions. Why they are creating it, guys? I told you already, the choice of region or a zone is always affects the cost, performance, availability, and latency. Okay, so this is what is the region is for. One of the example for the region is US Central One. One of the example for the region, for example, if you go here, if you select a region, one of the region, for example for the region is you have US Central One. So this is the region, guys. So it affects the cost. Look at here, US Central One 0.020. If you select this one, see the cost is. So if you are not selecting a proper location, it changes the cost. For the same resource, you select US Central One, it is 0.020 less cost. For the same resource, if you select this one, it is 0.035. The cost is more. Okay, so this is how you will be having it, guys. Okay, so you always focus on proper region, otherwise the cost may changes. You have to select a proper location or a region or a zone. Okay, so this is what is the definition of a region, guys. In a simple words, region is an independent geographic area in a location which consists of zones. That's it. Similarly, what is a zone? A zone is a deployment area. I already told you guys. What is a zone? A zone is a deployment area because we do the deployments in the zones only. Okay, a zone is a deployment area for Google Cloud resources within a region. Zones are physically separate from each other within a region to provide the fault tolerant and resilience. I will talk about this point. Okay, whenever we are talking about a selection criteria, I will talk about these two things. Okay, why they have to be fault tolerance and why they have to connect it to the high bandwidth network and low latency network. But try to understand this point that each zone is separated from the one more zone via high bandwidth network and low latency network, and it also provides you the fault tolerance and resilience. Okay, why it has to be connected, why it is providing fault tolerance, I will talk about it in few minutes. But try to understand that zone is a deployment area where Google Cloud resources will be there in a region. Okay, zone is a one of the part inside a region which is a deployment area which consists of GCP resources. One zone is connected to the one more zone via high bandwidth network and low latency network, and it provides you the fault tolerance and resilience. Okay, one of the example for the region is zone is US Central 1A. One more is US Central 1B. One more is US Central 1C. Okay, this is region. Each region is a collection of minimum 3 zones. So 1, 2, 3. So US Central 1A, US Central 1B, US Central 1C. So these are the 3 zones. So this is what is a region and zone, guys. Okay, so I'm going to talk about. So far now you understand the definitions. So far now you know the context that GCP locations is one of the important topic whenever you wanted to create a resource or deploy something in the Google Cloud platform, you need to properly select a location or a region or a zone properly. If you don't select it, the cost affect, the performance affect, the availability of the resource will affect. So, but sir, now I know that this is locations, this is region, this is zone. They have divided the locations into regions into zones. Now I know that they are connected also. Now, sir, can you tell me what is a selection criteria? What is the best method to select the region or zone for my resources? Okay, can you tell me, sir, what is the best method? What is the selection criteria for selecting a region or zone whenever I am trying to deploy one application or create some resource in the Google Cloud platform? So that is I am going to tell you tomorrow, guys. That is I am going to tell you tomorrow. Okay, so I don't want it to start the topic now. So we have totally 3 points are there that I am going to define it in a very simple way. So how, whenever you wanted to deploy a resource, what are the things that you need to remember so that you are going to get you are going to get less cost. Now you are going to get a very good performance. The availability of the resource will be very high. The latency will be very less. So if you wanted to select that, I am going to tell you the 3 points. Tomorrow we will see that. Okay. So that is, we will see it tomorrow, guys. Now I am parking the session for here today. If anyone have any questions, you can ask me. Now it is a Q&A session, guys. If anyone have any questions, you can ask me.
Good morning.
Yes. Yeah.
I have a question. I'm a little confused because I
Yes, please.
connected today. Today when I connected was
Okay.
Uncle. She was just giving different example of what is the data engineering, data analysis, and all the tool. But this morning I connected. I see you mentioned that you already talked about what is data engineer, what is GCP, what is
Correct.
cloud, what is interface, and you're already on location. At what
Correct.
point would that class? At what point was that class given? Because we started only. Well, me, I'm not. I don't know about other.
Correct.
I was sent the link
Correct.
yesterday, but all of this
Correct.
that you mentioned, we didn't study that yesterday. So where do
Correct. So I
we have
got
the
your point.
GCP?
So you have attended today that you missed a I think hardly
No,
2 hours
no,
of
no.
session.
I did. No, no. I was given the link yesterday. I had
Okay.
to register since yesterday was the link
I got
sent out that the class started
you.
yesterday
Okay.
as day one.
Actually, what happened is that there were 2 sessions, 2 hour session got completed. Okay, so we were looking at we are in still demo sessions only. You can think of like these are a very beginning sessions only, that where we are looking for more students. So we have just covered 2 hours of session, which was very basic. Okay, which was very basic. What you have to do, sir, what I have to do if I wanted to continue with the regular classes, you connect with our team. Okay, you connect with our admin and you ask them the 2 hours video. Okay, you ask them the last session demo video, you ask them, so they will provide you. Just watch that like in a speed in a fast mode, you can say, so that you will be able to complete it in a very simple. Okay, so this is what you have to do, because we just have completed, that was very basic session. We were planned and we completed that. Today onwards we are again, it is also a very basic session only. Even we have not started any topic, we are going to start our topics from the Monday, guys, regularly. Okay, we are going to start our regular sessions from the Monday. All these sessions, whatever I am doing, these are, you can think of a demo sessions, which are very basic to the sessions, very basic for the all of these things. So I just wanted you to make comfortable with the topics. I want you guys to make comfortable with the Google Cloud platform and the topic names. Once you guys are comfortable, once we have completed these basic sessions, from Monday onwards, we are going to regularly start our session so that you guys can see the real topics come into the picture for GCP data engineering. Okay? Yeah.
Thank you. And for the recording, we were given a site to have so you can have
There, I
recording
think
there.
you can have there
When
only.
do they when do they upload the recording for each class, or do we have to always
For each
reach
class,
out?
for each class. So whenever the class is completed, you may take 1 or 2 hours. They will take it. I mean, you already know that, right? Zoom needs to process the video. May hardly it will take 2 hours. After 2 hours, you can have the video. Okay.
Okay. So where is the
Whenever the
video?
classes. I think you can. So I think we have our admin team. What I will do is that I'll ask the admin team to provide or upload the videos to that particular channel so that everyone will have that. Okay. I'll tell them. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you.
Sure. Sure. Yeah. Thank you. Anyone have any other questions, guys? Please.
I have two questions. One is
Yes,
that
please.
after the class, today you just taught for 40 minutes. I know I can understand because it is just a theoretical session. But once
Correct.
we start the session, you'll be taking 1 hour class. I mean, telling us
Of course. These are very, very basic sessions, guys, right? So that's the reason. There are sessions we even take 115, 120 minutes also, okay? Don't think that sir is taking 40 minutes, 30 minutes today, and every session is like that. Because we are in a very beginnings, so I
like
want you guys to comfortable with the topic names at least. So once we are comfortable, we can, because some code we are developing, right? So whenever we are developing some code, we may extend more 1 hour 15 minutes, 1 hour 20 minutes also we go, right? So that is there. Just assume that this is a demo session, so that's the reason sir is taking 30 40 minutes. Okay. Yeah.
so. My question was that once we're done with the session, let's say it'll take 1 hour. So what about our doubt session? If we like trying to create a
You can ask me in the
uh,
next session.
or
I'm
something,
giving you
because
the time, right? I'm giving you the time. You can ask me the question where every time, whenever I am talking about the GCP locations, I was giving you the time. You can ask me the question at any time. Maybe today's session is started. Sir, I have a question. Raise your hand. Even before the starting of the session, sir, from the yesterday's session, I have a question. You ask me, I will clear it out. That's not a problem at all. For sure, you're supposed to get the question. You're supposed to get the doubts. I'm supposed to clear the doubts. That's where we learn more, right? Yeah.
okay. And another thing, that since we are starting with the cloud now, so what about the Python part? Because obviously we
Those
will
things comes into picture. No, don't worry about it. This course was full packed in
understand.
such a way that you are going to get your voice is breaking. Okay, I whatever I heard, I'm going to tell you the answer. So this course is fully packed, guys. I'm telling you, you don't need to worry about the course content. You don't need to worry about the topics, and you don't need to worry about the knowledge that I'm going to share. 100% of the knowledge I'm going to share it. Wherever the Python has to come, it will come in that particular sessions. Wherever the SQL development or Apache Beam or PySpark, wherever it has to come, it will come in those particular sessions. Don't worry, the structure of the course is properly planned. I am not just teaching from this batch. I've been teaching it from the last 1.5 years, I would say. It was almost 90%, 90 to 90% of people got placed from this course. You can have a very good confidence on the course. The only thing expected from you is that whatever I'm covering today, please recap and explore. Recap and explore. Otherwise, you may be missing the sessions. Okay, don't miss the live sessions, attend the live sessions. Every topic will come. Don't think, sir. You are asking the Python, right? Let me gonna show you the Python. So here you have the Python crash course. I have the notebook ready. So where I have to teach it, before me starting the PySpark, before me starting the Spark environment, I am going to teach the Python. Okay. So necessity is mother of invention. We need the Spark. When you wanted to understand the Spark, whenever you wanted to write a PySpark code, you need the Python there, right? So I'm going to teach there. Don't worry about that.
Okay.
Everything is on me. Yeah.
And so one last question. I just want
Yes, please.
still clarification. Why do
Your
you
voice,
hello?
your voice is actually kind of breaking. I'm really
Uh,
sorry. Is it same for all or it's only for me?
Sir,
I have one question, that is, the all lectures are parallelly or one by one? How is it on learning?
No. Can you come again? Sorry.
All lectures are doing parallelly all the technology. Like yesterday is doing data engineering, today is for
No,
the
no. These are regular. These are continuous sessions. Whatever I'm talking is a continuous session. All the topics are very important. Okay. Yeah. If
sir,
yeah.
my last question was, if you can you understand my voice? Can you understand me?
Yeah.
Can you hear?
Whenever you are talking, it is fine. But whenever you are actually continuously talking, it was breaking. But now it is good. You can talk.
I'll try to speak slowly. Okay.
Yeah.
So what
Sure.
I'm asking, can you please just take 5 minutes and explain why do you think that GCP is kind of more
Okay, okay. I got your point. I'll tell you now. Look at
right?
here.
I'm
Yeah,
trying
I got
to
your point. Yeah,
I'm trying to move to uh, New Zealand next year. So I want
okay.
to understand, if I am moving to New Zealand, which cloud will be more in demand? Can you like compare it
Sure.
to,
I'll tell you.
or
I'll tell
somewhere
you. Yeah,
share where
I'll tell
I have more opportunities?
I'll tell you. Okay, it's for all of you guys. Look at here. I'm going to give you a very good simple idea that you can easily understand. Okay. Now think that AWS and Azure is a very good market. It's already having the good market. Even GCP is also. These are three leading cloud providers. First thing, these are all three leading cloud providers. The first thing what people is think is that AWS and Azure is there from the last 7 years. Okay, so it is there. People already know about the AWS and Azure. What people, there are some tester is there, or there are some mainframe developer is there are people that is coming from the different domain. Okay, they wanted to enter into the data engineering. Okay, they wanted to enter into the data engineering. Now for all the data engineers, they have to work on the cloud only nowadays. So now what they do, if you are a tester, or if you are a mainframe developer, or if you are coming from some non-technical background or a technical and some other background, you think that the data engineering is one of the famous area where people are getting very good packages, where people are getting the jobs easily. So what you do, you try to learn some course. You try to learn some course, and now you are going for an interview. What you have done is that you have learned the AWS and Azure. Let us take an example that you have learned the AWS and Azure course, and what is your agenda? You need to get the job. If you wanted to get the job, you need to crack the interview. Yes or no? You need to crack the interview. Now tell me, when you go for an interview, who is your competitor for in the interview? Can you guys guess it? Who is the competitor for you in the interview? Can you guys guess it? Those people like you already know about the AWS and Azure 3 to 4 years before. 3 to 4 years before itself, like you, people already know about the cloud, and they have learnt already, and they are in the job already, and now they are looking for a switch. Now they are looking for a switch. Now you are competing with these fellows. Those people who are already professionals, you call them as a professionals, you are competing with the these people. Now tell me, getting the job by connecting, I mean getting the job by competing with the already professionals is easy or not? I would say little bit difficult. It's hard, little bit hard, I would say. Now Google Cloud Platform is there from last 3 years only. People know about the GCP from last 1 year, 1.5 year only, hardly 1 to 2 years only. People know about it. Google Cloud Platform, it is there from the last 3 years in the most of the periods, and people know about the GCP. Students know about the GCP from last 1 to 2 years only. Okay, now everyone starts learning it. Okay, now instead of going to this path, what you have done is that instead of learning the AWS and Azure, what you have done this time is that instead of going to the AWS and Azure, you learn the GCP. Okay, you learn the GCP course. Now you go to the interview. Okay, now tell me, who is your competitors in the interview? Can you guys guess it? Who is the competitor in the interview? Please, guys, can you guys talk about it? Who is the competitor? Like you, someone is learning the course. Similarly, it's if this is you, there are 3, 4, 5 other people like you. They are learning the course, and they came for the interview. So whom you are competing with? Those persons like you who are learning the course. You are learning the course. They are also learned the course, and they came for the interview. Getting the job is easy or not? Competing with the persons who are learning the course and competing with those people who are already professionals, it's very hard. So this is the reason that most of the people what do the mistake is that they think that AWS and Azure is there in the market, and they think that AWS is a Mercedes, Azure is a BMW. I go and buy the car. I go and buy the car, but only 1 to 5% of the population will buy those cars, and they can afford it. Rest of the people, what they will do is that even though it is a a brand, we don't go for that, because AWS and Azure is there. We can go for it because it is already having a professionals who are learned the job, who are already in the job. You are competing with them. Competing with them and getting the job is very hard. So this is what the people do mistake. And those who went for this first path, what they will do, no? They will try for interviews, they will try for interviews, they will try for interviews, they don't get the job and they go to their old job. So this is what, because of lack of awareness, these kind of a mistakes will happen. I'm telling you guys, because of lack of awareness. So you are ready to learn some course, but you choose in a wrong course, because even though you have a very good interest, there are people who will put their effort almost 9 hours every day learning the course. For sure they may get. So out of 100 people, for sure 15 to 5 to 10 people will get the job in the AWS and Azure also. But rest of the 70 to 80% of the people, they back to their own original job, they back to their previous job. Okay, they spent a lot of money, they put a lot of effort also, but they are going to be going back their job because of they have not taken a proper decision. So now, because the same thing I have told to the last 6 months onwards, I am telling you last 6 months onwards, 91%, yesterday one of the guy placed, 91% got placed with the GCP guys. Okay, very huge demand. It 91 is very less. I am telling you 91 is very less, because for the GCP professionals, if you put your resume in the Naukri, you get 20 to 25 opportunities, not calls, opportunities. That means 20 to 25 companies are on behalf, I mean, they are looking for they're looking for a professional who is having a good knowledge on the GCP. 20 to 25 companies are looking towards you. If you, at least one company, if you crack, your life is settled. But if you go for Azure, you will be having calls like 10 to 15. That is a reasonable amount of opportunities also. But out of these 20, 10 to 15, you are competing with these professionals. Getting the job becomes very easy. GCP is new and many companies started utilizing the GCP. That's the reason very good calls are there. Okay, very good calls are there. I'm telling you. After 3 years, 4 years, again it becomes like a AWS and Azure. By the time, if you are already settled in the GCP, you are a very good. Your life is settled. If you're not able to take a proper decision today, then there will be again. And don't think that what will happen to the data engineering. Data engineering is a foundation. It is a evergreen course. Data engineering was there 30 years before. Data engineers will be there after 30 years also. Don't worry about that. Okay, data engineering was there 30 years before also. Data engineering will be there in after 30 years also. There is no doubt about it. Okay, people from data science also come to the data engineering. People from machine learning also come to the data engineering. People from the data engineering, there is a chance they can go and easily work in the machine learning and data science also. Don't think that because the job in the data engineering is stable, the hike is stable, you have a very good demand for the data engineers. Okay, so this is what it is, guys. Yeah, so this is hope your question is answered. Yeah. Okay, so someone is asking a question, how does the cost affect the location, right, Sumir? The cost affect the location is this one, sir, that you already know. The Apple phone that is there in USA, the cost of Apple phone in USA is some bucks. Cost of Apple phone in India, can you guys tell me, is it the same cost? I want you guys to answer it. Okay, is it the same cost in the Apple phone in USA and India? No, right? So the location affects, for sure it will change, right? So here it will be less, here it will be more. Location affects the location, changes the demand. Demand is the money. Okay, so that's how the location affects the cost. Okay, location changes the demand. Demand leads to the cost. Okay, yeah.
Sir, we are also Azure in this, saying only GCP because in the, or are you not the trainer for Azure?
No,
Uh,
I'm the trainer for Azure. So there are few people who are looking at ADF as well as ADB, Azure Databricks. Those two things I'm teaching.
so in
Okay.
depth, you will be going in ADF and Databricks.
ADF and Databricks, we are going to understand ADF and Databricks. We are going to see the case studies also, right? Yeah, of course.
So are we going to cover the salting techniques, the persist and the coalesce and all these important stuff?
I mean,
Partition.
you mean to say the partitioning? Of course, those are the basic things. We need to cover it. Whether you go to the ADB or ADF or because those are the concepts of PySpark. Okay, those are the concepts of Spark. For sure, we have to cover it. It doesn't come in ADF. It doesn't come in ADB. It comes in the PySpark. Okay, for sure, you
Yes.
have to cover. Yeah, of course, that is covered. Don't worry. Yeah.
Salting, salting, persist, and everything will be covered, right?
Persistence, cache,
Cache.
coalesce, all of these things, of course, will come. Don't worry about it.
What
Those are
about
the optimization techniques in the PySpark.
Delta,
Those things will come. Yeah.
Delta Lake will be covering in this?
Delta Lake in the ADB, Azure Database. Okay,
It,
so look at here. You don't need to go there only. I'll show you here. PySpark. So one of the in interview questions also I have mentioned. Okay, look at here. What is data pruning? Okay, and what is persistent cache, and
cache,
what is data query optimization, what is data skewness, what is memory management, broadcasting, data partitioning, and report. Those things come. Don't worry about it. I'm telling you guys, the course is on me. Everything I'm going to cover. The only thing, whatever the things that you go and work in those areas, for sure you are going to remember me that the sir has already covered. Now it becomes easy for me. Okay, so you are going to
okay.
have that.
Sir,
Yeah.
for the certifications after the course, which certifications can we target, which will be covered by you? For example, there's a Databricks certification, there is a GCP certification, and there's the DP203 Azure Data Engineering certification.
Correct.
So,
So
so
for
what,
the GCP, you can easily cover ACE certification and PDB certification with this course. And for Databricks, we are going to cover it, but you can cover. I mean, you need to focus on some machine learning concepts as well if you wanted to go and do the Databricks certification. Okay, because we are not covering the machine learning, but all other concepts we are covering. Okay, and for Azure, we are just only covering ADF and ADB, right? There are plenty of other services that are not required for us. Okay, because we are focused more on a job. So that's the reason. For sure, you can cover because we are covering most of the topics in GCP. But these, whatever the topics that I'm covering, those are very important for the certification for sure. But there are additionally, if you are looking a few more topics also, you can able to easily crack the certifications as well. Yeah.
okay. So mainly we are focusing on cracking the
Job. Yeah.
DP
Our main focus on the job. Yes.
and DP203 for Azure Data Engineering
Correct.
to study a little bit more.
Little bit more. Yes. Yes. Okay. Okay. I think it's already 8, guys. If you guys have any questions, you can ask me.
So actually, I have
Yes,
one question.
Priyanka. Yes,
Uh,
Priyanka.
uh, actually, I have 3 years of gap. So is it good for me to do this?
See, whatever the gap you have, so I'm going to tell you one thing, guys. Those who are having gap, you already know how to fill the gap. I don't need to tell you. If you are able to fill the gap, that filling the gap, you tell it is that I have worked on GCP data engineer, and you go for the interview. You crack the interview. Okay, that gap, you know how to fill the gap with some other thing like documents or whatever you are, whatever purchasing, whatever you do, you know all of those things. Okay, now how to cover that in the interview? You say that I am going to teach you the GCP data engineer. You say that last 3 years I worked on GCP, and you put all the resumes, all the projects, all the topics, everything you mention in the interview also, all the things you try to cover, crack it. Okay, that is what people do. It's not that it's you the new one. Everyone will do the same thing. If you have gap, or if, for you it is gap, for some other person they are working in a testing background, some other person they are working in a mainframe background, so their background is different. For everyone it is new. GCP data engineer new for all of these people. What they do, they say that last 3 years I worked on GCP data engineering, they crack the interview. Okay, yeah. Okay. Okay, guys. Any other questions? Anyone, please?
Hi, I have one question. I did miss the
Yes,
very
Gopal.
first part. I think you had that AWS mentioned in your very
No, no.
first diagram.
Uh-huh.
Will you be covering some AWS as
No,
well,
no,
or
no,
this is
no,
completely
no, no. So
this?
it is GCP 10 services, 10 data engineering services, Azure 2 2 to 3, I would say. One is ADLS container plus ADB, nothing but a Databricks plus and ADF 3. Okay, so this is how. And the topics, the basic topics on the clouds. Okay, so this is what
Okay.
our course is of.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
sure.
And so
Thank you.
how many projects are we going to do, and those projects will be
End-to-end
uh,
pipelines. So
sub-
as a data engineer, we don't worry about CI/CD and all of those things, right? So we will be creating the batch pipelines, end-to-end batch pipelines. So however a data engineer works every day, that is one. And the streaming pipelines we are going to cover, because ours is more of a pipelines, right? So as a data engineer, we create a end-to-end pipelines. While we are creating the pipelines, we integrate multiple tools, right? So you create batch pipelines, streaming pipelines, multiple case studies we are going to cover. And as a bonus, I am going to give this end-to-end project also. Okay, click by API to the Airflow, cloud storage, cloud functions, data flow, BigQuery, Looker, all of this end-to-end pipeline. So these are all the projects you can include in your resume. Okay. Yeah.
one project and some use cases.
Your voice is breaking. Sorry.
One project and some use cases.
No, no, no. One more is also there.
Okay, two
Okay.
projects.
Yeah, 2 projects and many case studies. Okay, you can
Okay.
see case study 1, case study 2. Because case study is nothing but a real-time thing. So only case study 1, case study 2. Again in the end-to-end pipeline, template 1, template 2, 1, 2. Okay, and Airflow level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4. These are all 4 different pipelines, CI/CD project. So this is an additional bonus for you that I am going to give you CI/CD also. Okay, Terraform, which is not Terraform basics only. We don't go into deeper for as a data engineer. Okay, so Terraform, Airflow, PubSub, data. So not data flow, Dataproc, BigQuery, and Cloud SQL, Google Cloud Storage, and Cloud Basics, and ADF, and sorry, Databricks as well as ADF. Here it is. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay, guys. Any other questions? Anyone, please?
Sir, I have asked for the cost. How does it affect the cost based on the location? You gave the example for the Apple iPhone.
Of
Okay.
course. Correct.
So I am not convinced about that. Like how does Apple phone and VM like a resource I'm provisioning in cloud is
That's
like
what I'm telling you, right? So for me, for me, so my main area is North America, USA,
okay.
and my head office is there in the GCP. My head office is there in the USA. So
Hmm.
all the way from the USA, if I wanted to create my regions or zones or data centers in Johannesburg, which is very long for me, and all the way from here, I am trying to put a lot of network cabling, all of these things I am trying to create it. So if I put the same cost here and if I put the same cost here, it wouldn't be logically correct for me, right? So what I do, I am putting a lot of effort, so that's the reason they put a little bit cost more. Okay, and what people think also that it is a it's a what we call it as a remote area, and you don't get any services available because you have a lot of demand for the cloud platforms. So you don't get any cloud platforms in the Johannesburg. So if they are providing with a more cost also, they are okay with that, they are going to pay it. So that's the reason you have the demand, and they are putting a lot of effort, so that's the reason they increase the cost.
So
Okay.
infrastructure is already there, sir. It's not like they're like
No, they
developing the
are creating
infrastructure
it.
for.
They are developing it. So that's the reason I have told you right here. At some point of time, everything is going was developed at some point of time, right? Assume that. See, Johannesburg is not there. Future region with 3 zones. They are developing it now. Okay.
No, I'm talking about the existing reason. Like suppose
No,
there is a
existing
Asia-Pacific
region
region is
was at
there and the
some point of
resources.
time it was created, right? See, it is not that Melbourne was there from the beginning. While USA was there, when they created the data center here, it was not there. Melbourne and Sydney was not there. At some point of time, Melbourne and Sydney was also created. Okay, these data centers also at some point of time they have created. They increase the cost, they reduce the cost. Okay, they increase the cost to meet the demand, they reduce the cost whenever there is a 3 other cloud platforms also available. So to attract the customers, they reduce the cost also. If you wanted to understand more cost things, you can always go to the public documentation. Okay. cost and pricing model will be there for each and everything. So even though this is generic terms I'm talking about, there are plenty of other logical abstractions that they put it based on the cost model in GCP. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's why I was looking for that, because
Yeah.
just phone example, I haven't understood like how does phone related to this data and resources.
No, so at some point of time, each and every data center, they have created it. So maybe Johannesburg, it was not created today. That's the reason you think that it is not there. So at some point of time, Melbourne also same thing. Mumbai, we have a data center for GCP in Mumbai also. At some point of time, we do not have the GCP in Mumbai 1 year before. Now we have it. They have developed it. Okay, so that's how it is. So the cost, even people start using the USA data center only most of the time because the cost will be very less. Okay, so that's how we already know that. The same thing, Apple was very famous in USA and it is cheaply available there. If I bring the same Apple phone to the India, the cost will be more because they are putting a lot of effort to bring from the all the way from the USA to the India. They are creating their own market here. If they wanted to create a market and if they wanted to, sustain in the market, they have to have a little bit more cost because there many things will come into the picture. So that's the reason the cost will be a little bit more. Yeah. And it doesn't mean that it is a lot. It's a little bit more. It's not that it is going to be very huge. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay, guys, I'm stopping the session here for today. And we will see a few more things tomorrow, guys. I think hope you have enjoyed the session today and you have learned something today. And we will see a few more things tomorrow so that you guys going to learn a few more things tomorrow as well. Okay. Yep. Thank you all. Have a great day. Bye-bye. We'll meet tomorrow, guys. Thank you all. Don't miss the session tomorrow. Bye-bye.